Jim Zaspel here. We've got a question for you. What is the most important number in real estate investing? Single family real estate investing. What's the most important number? Well, if you hadn't guessed it, it's right here on the left side of your screen. After repaired value, affectionately known as ARV or ARV. That is, what is your house going to sell? What is a house going to sell for once it's all fixed up, after it's repaired? Knowing that number tells you how much you can pay for a property and how much you're going to make at a certain purchase price, or if you're going to make any. It is where all the math starts. One of my mentors always told me, it all comes down to the math. Give me the math. Show me the math. So important. So at the end of this training video, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to an upcoming live training, about a 60 to 90 minute in-depth training. We're going to go over how to determine an ARV even in more detail. I'm going to go over estimated repairs, crunching numbers, how to learn your markets, how much repairs to do, how to not do, and also how to come up with a good offer price for a property based on those numbers. So if you don't make it in this video, just click the link below and register for the upcoming training. It is going to knock your socks off. But anyway, before we do that, let's talk about after repaired value. Again, what we're trying to learn here is what is the property worth once it's all fixed up. And the answer, to get to that answer, to discern that or to learn that for any property, there are certain things you've got to know or you got to consider when you're looking at your comps. Okay, so that's a word we're going to use a lot. Okay, comps or comparable sales. Okay, you can get these from the MLS as well as some other resources. In fact, on the upcoming training, we're going to go over where to get the comps. Best source is the MLS. All right. So one of the most important things you're looking at is size. Okay. You want to make sure that it's. We're going to go over what size, but it's going to be similar size. Okay. I'm going to go over how similar on the upcoming training. And another one, some people say bedrooms and bathrooms got to be the same, but really, I can tell you, we add bathrooms and we add bedrooms and take bedrooms away, do all sorts of stuff to a lot of houses we buy. And the reality is, what I care more about is size. For instance, if I see a house, in fact, we bought one not that long ago, 140 something on the 100 block on Grape Street in Philly. It's either 142 or 148 Grape, I forget, one or the other. And we bought it on Grape Street in Philadelphia, and it was a 1,200 square foot or 1,400 square foot house. It had 4 bedrooms. And now I can tell you this, that one thing that really turns a lot of buyers away is having small bedrooms. And so I was like, there's no way in this world I'm comping this house out of a 4-bedroom house. This is when we are deciding whether or not to buy the property, right? And so I'm going to comp this out of a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house, which we did, and we turned it into that. And so bedrooms and bathrooms, maybe, okay, but you for sure have to know what your property, the subject property, is going to turn into by the time you're done repairing it. And then that's based on the size, okay? Style, are you comparing twins versus single family houses, right? You got to pick one versus the other. Contemporary versus colonial. Colonial is a lot more sought after. And again, that training, I'm going to go over different other styles as well. And I'm going to go over examples. I'm going to actually go pull comps on some properties so you can see me walking through different examples. Lot size is important as well. So in the city, for instance, we're doing a property right now on the 300 block of DuPont Street in Roxborough. It's 340, 3-something DuPont Street in Roxborough. I forget the address. And this property has no yard, none whatsoever. It has like a sidewalk patio area, it has a deck, and a front porch, and a sidewalk, and there's no backyard. The wall, retaining wall in that area comes right up to the back of the house, and that's where the property line is. So is that a desirable property? Well, for the right kind of buyer, it absolutely is, and there's plenty of demonstrated demand for that type of property. But the point is, if I had a 40 by 50 foot or 20 by 50 foot lot yard in the backyard, would that be more desirable? Of course it would be, and I would price it accordingly. So I took that all into consideration when I looked at it. Also, a little caveat is, can you subdivide a property? Can you chop off a lot? More on that on the upcoming training. All right, next is geography. So geography, you're comparing, again, what we're trying to do is compare properties that have sold compared to the subject property to determine what the subject property, the one you're analyzing, is going to be worth once it's all fixed up, okay? So in terms of geography, you're looking at things such as, do the comparable sales, are they across any major dividing line, right? For the same township, same school district, So in South Philly, for instance, you've got Washington Avenue, or is it Lane? Yeah, Washington Avenue runs east-west, right? It divides, on the west side of Broad Street, it divides Graduate Hospital from Point Breeze or Newbold section, right? You can go, so if you've got, this is Washington Avenue, right? And let's say you've got a house here, right? And north. So north is that way. This is Graduate Hospital. Then you got a house here, one block south, one block north of, and one block south of, right? You have the same house, and the value goes down $100,000 if you're one block, just 2 blocks down this side of Washington Avenue, right? It's the same house here. So what's my point again? The point is, be aware of, you've got to know your major dividing lines, geographical dividing lines, boundaries when you're pulling comps. So it's really easy when you're pulling comps out of the MLS. Just hit the map button and you can see different dividing lines. And of course you want to make sure if there's solid comps, same houses within the same neighborhood, then those are the comps you want to use as well. And we'll talk more about how far out to go with comps, how far back. Like I said, the same school district is very, very important. And then the condition as well. Don't just go off of a public records printout, spreadsheet that says, oh, here's all the properties sold within a quarter mile or half mile and what they sold for. You don't know what the condition was, right? Scroll through the pictures and make sure. It'd be a real shame if you pulled comps of a property and the picture said the sale price is $300,000 and there's a couple of about 300 grand, and so you thought that the really solid ARV was $300,000. But maybe those houses needed some work done to they're 20 years out of date, right? So it's important to know the condition of the property as well. And another thing that's very important to me to determine how confident I'm going to be in that market, especially if I'm doing deals in a market where I'm not that familiar with, in terms of maybe a little micro market, different parts of my area, or even different states, is I want to look at the ratio of active to pending to sold transactions. So the ratio has to do with, so let's say we got 30 comps, right? So you got 30 comps, and let's say we've got, out of 30, we've got 17 active, okay? And we've got 6 pending, meaning they're under contract to sell. And what's the difference here? We've got 7 settle, right? What is my inclination here? Am I going to be confident or a little cautious when I'm pulling comps in this? Well, if 54%, or whatever that number is, 58% of the 30 comps, and they're actually similar size, similar lots, same schools, within my target geography, same style, if they're actually true comparable sales, and out of 70, over half the thing, man, I got to make sure, say, gosh, why wouldn't somebody buy one of those 17 houses? What makes me think my house is going to sell where there's 17 others in the market? What is it about those houses make them sit there? And sometimes there's a reasonable explanation. Maybe all those are in crappy condition. Maybe a lot of them are short sales. Maybe some of them are actually townhouses or twins when there's a single family property, right? So sometimes there's a real reason, and so I can feel confident based my ARV on this. But even if these all 7 indicate an ARV of 350, right? But I've got other properties there are other properties sitting on the market that are similar condition, and they're priced, in the low 3s to mid to high 3s. I'm going to think twice, man. I better plan on my house being worth less than these so they can stand out, right? So it'll be a whole lot more confident. But let's change the numbers up. Let's say out of 30 comps, you've got 5 active, right? You've got 8 pending, and what's the difference here? 17 settled. What does that tell you? It tells you the market wants houses in that neighborhood, and stuff is flying off the shelf. So I'm going to be a whole lot more confident. So we're going to go over how to do that, and we're also looking at DOM, D-O-M, days on market, and how to read that, and so all sorts of cool stuff. So on the upcoming training, click the link below this video, and like I said, we're going to go over, dive a little bit deeper on how to determine after repair value. We're also going to dive deeper onto how to estimate repairs line by line and make it super easy for you. You can do it in 12 minutes. And I'm also going to show you how to really crunch the numbers, how to take the after repair value and the repair cost and all the other hidden costs in the deal, right? And so you can really determine how to identify a purchase price that will allow for all those hidden costs, soft costs in the deal, and still make you plenty of profit. So go ahead and click the link below this video, and I look forward to seeing you on that live training. Catch you then.